I've always felt that if you have more diverse teams, your creativity goes up, not up by a notch, not up by a fraction, but significantly. Diversity just brings in a lot of nuances that you would miss if you don't have diversity. So if you're creating value proposition for your product and that product is also limited to one region, diversity just brings in the life experiences that that person has in order to provide elements of and look your product, your services in a very different way and provide that perspective, which builds a very nuanced and very, as you said, very emotional, high on EQ communication or high on EQ design that people resonate with. And I've always felt that if you have more diverse teams, your creativity goes up, not up by a notch, not up by a fraction, but significantly. Your output is going to be very layered, very nuanced, and very much creatively much more better than if you have a non-diverse team.
Yeah, I mean, I think creativity, I think innovation, if you bring together experts with all these different experiences, you're going to get so many more solutions to the same problem and ultimately maybe more innovative solutions to the same problem. I also think it creates that feeling of trust. If brand is about emotional connection and it's about soul, right? You want to create a brand that your customers trust. And part of that trust is being authentic, right? Being authentic to their lived experience, being authentic in the language you use to communicate with them, being authentic in, how you connect with them or the localization, connecting with their market, right? Making sure it's relevant, maybe with their industry, whatever it is. I think that all of that really helps build that soul of the brand that you can really rely on, and then you can do great things with it, to your point about being more creative and innovative. Inclusive marketing is really critical to all of us as we, globalize. We think about building a global brand that, speaks to a wider audience around the world. We want to make sure that we're getting, localization right. We want to make sure that, our website is accessible. We want to make sure that, our brand is inclusive, that the way that we talk and the visual identity that we use is going to be something that everyone can enjoy. We don't want to pick a color palette that's not going to work for folks who are colorblind, right?
Yeah.
It just as much as, we don't want to use like all caps text everywhere because it's much harder to read and to parse. Just like we want to make sure that our website is built with the right tags behind the scenes, not just so that folks who are accessing it with a screen reader can understand the flow of the content, but also so that the search engine can understand the flow of the content and ultimately help us to rank, right? Inclusive marketing is good marketing. It's smart marketing, right? And oftentimes, putting an emphasis on that work through the lens of inclusion, it becomes part of that purpose-driven conversation rather than, just something that's like a checkbox that we have to do. Oh, we need to do technical SEO work to the website, right? No, we need to make sure that we're living our value of, being an inclusive marketing organization, not just in the way that we treat our colleagues, but also in the way that we represent ourselves to the market. So I think if you get, that values piece correct, and you help not just your marketing team, but the whole company understand where do we want to be in 3 years and what are the steps that we need to take to get there, you'll really have like all of the foundational elements for a great purpose-driven marketing organization to succeed.
The most difficult thing to create a global marketing organization is hiring.
For sure.
And more than anything, more than finding a right talent, right capability, right skill set, and right attitude, is to first identify where are you going to hire. Because Sarah, that earlier organizations were used to become big locally first and then go global.
Yep.
Nowadays, you are global from day one. You will be sitting in New York and your first customer can be in India.
Mm-hmm. I think shifting the mindset away from, having a hub to that borderless talent pool model is really critical.